Josh and Frankie with a couple of dumb shits. Hello, primates! You found Primus Tracks. Congratulations! I am Dr. Josh Bald, one of the hosts of Primus Tracks, and on this episode of the podcast, we are right chuffed to welcome Vincent Perm Parker. That's right, the first drummer in Primus history on the podcast. We chatted with Perm about his childhood and life at Anza High School with one Les Claypool and many other recognizable names, his career following his inclusion with Primus, and Perm reveals two incredibly interesting connections to Primus drummers that followed him. I'll let him tell that story. Vince has a few things out there in the digital world. You can find him at AVEVEE, a clever way of spelling AV.com. So check him out and enjoy the show. Shattering along. Let's walk! Do you prefer Vince or Vincent? Does it matter?
You can call me Perm because that's what everybody else called me at home.
That's what I was going to lead with, because in all the literature... there's a Primus book out there that tells the story of the band. There it is right there. Les will, in interviews, he talks about the early days, and he always refers to you as Perm Parker. How'd that come about?
That's the long story. My hair, it's really different kind of hair, because I have a lot of Indian blood in me and a lot of all kind of blood in me, so I'm kind of a mutt. So one day, I went, and my girl's friends used to braid my hair before I went to school and stuff. But now I went and got this perm one day, and it fell all the way down to my shoulders. But it was sucked to my head before. Then when I walked into the place, everybody went perm, and it stuck from that day forward. I know he's probably thinking so profound thing, but it wasn't profound. It was just somebody that got a kitchen sink perm and his hair fell down to his shoulders.
Oh man, I think we've all had some hair related instances in our lives, I suppose. Like, I had a bowl cut in high school, for crying out loud. So
oh no.
Yeah, I don't like looking at those pictures. But that's great. That's so great. So Perm Parker is the term, and so you embraced it.
I had to, else I would fight every day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm Perm. That's great. So did you grow up in the Richmond area in California there?
I did. I'm originally from Arizona.
Oh, okay.
From Phoenix, Arizona. But when we moved to California, I ended up at Anza by way of El Cerrito High, and ended up at Anza. And Les was one of the first people I met in Mr. Johnson's music class.
Wow. Oh, okay. So you were relatively new to the area then.
I was there. I went to Warren Crespi Junior High School and Montalvan Manor Elementary School. So it was not relatively, but I think I might have been in the area for, I guess I got here when I was 7. So it was about 9 years by the time I got there. Okay. I misunderstood. All right. So you were in the Richmond El Saab area for a while, and then you, of course, as you do, you go to high school. All right. And so you met Les pretty quickly, sounds like. Yeah, he was a freshman in high school when I met him.
Okay. Were you a grade ahead of him then?
I was.
Okay. All right. So, and it was in Mr. Johnson's class. Now, you mentioned Mr. Johnson when we spoke on the phone previously, and then Les talks about him a bit in this book, too. There's a spot I wanted to read to you. Les says, I learned to read music around this time because a buddy of mine was a drummer in the jazz band. He said, hey, they need a bass player in jazz band, and I told them about you. Was that you?
Not sure.
Now, he did say there were multiple drummers in the jazz band, so you had to like wait your turn to play, right?
I actually took first seat,
Oh, you were first seat.
When I got there, okay. Right. Maybe Brett Kern. It might have been Brett. We call him Kern. So
right. Oh, Kern was in the jazz band too. Okay, so oh wow, that's so cool. Because Les did say, of course, he played with Kern as well. So so you knew Kern. You guys were both getting reps in, I guess, playing drums. Maybe it was Kern that referred Les to the jazz band then.
It might have been Kern.
Okay,
but you know something? I think we're in two different bands in Mr. Johnson's class. So it might have been me that told him, hey, we need another bass player over here. So
okay. Wow. So actually I'm curious about, and I kind of skipped over it. I'm curious about what music you were listening to in your household when you were a kid.
A lot of R&B, soul, funk. Me and Les started practicing together every lunch day. At lunchtime, we'd go to Mr. Johnson's classroom and go into the soundproof booths and just stretch out every day. So it was 30 minutes of fiery funk and crazy.
That's awesome. So you guys, man, I don't even think they'd let you do that now because you have to be, supervised. But so, how long had you been drumming up to that point?
I started drumming right about the time I left Warren Crespi. So that had to be, I was 12 when I got to El Cerrito. Yeah. I started about 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, wow. So you'd been drumming.
I had been.
Wow.
Yeah, for a while.
You've been playing.
I had a lot of influence like Brothers Johnson, Sly Stone, Parliament Funkadelic, James Brown. Those kind of people.
Oh man, you're naming Stone Cold legends too. Like what a lineup! Wow.
What I like Sly?
Yeah. So. Was that part of the way, or I should rephrase that, is that kind of how you guys got together as far as sharing musical interests and that sort of thing?
Yeah, plus I just love the fact that Les he was brave. He never was embarrassed to anything. Even when we were playing and it wasn't right, he played wrong, but he was proud of it and it sounded good and I enjoyed it. But I tell you what, he got it right along the way, man. He just picked it up, and this guy, he started hammering the bass, and he used to teach me a lot of the rock and roll, like Rush and Judas Priest and the Eagles, and he used to tell me the stories and everything. And so we used to have fun, and we had another band called Euphoria with Chris Olsen, and Les was playing the bass with us on that one. I know he don't write about that one, but we had several things going on during that time, and in this group called Star in the jazz band. And we ended up going to Disneyland and playing down there with the competitions, and I think we took first place because I had left right before they gave out the awards.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I was hanging out. So anyway, but we did win, I believe, and we had a wonderful, wonderful life, man, when we were growing up. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better childhood.
Wow, man. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew about Star, sax, trumpet, and rhythm, and Les's involvement and yours as well. But I didn't know you guys were playing competitions. So you guys were pretty good.
Well, some people thought so, but we had a lot of fun in the time because we basically played what we liked, and I really enjoyed myself. And when we did the rock and roll stuff, when Les was teaching me the rock and roll stuff, and I was showing him some of the funk stuff, and it ended up ended up in our later years. For me, over the years, I played with a lot of different bands. I mean, including HR and Bad Brains, some of those Bad Brain boys, and Banks and Black Trash, who we call Black Trash, but his name's David Jordan, of course, and a couple of other members like the Jackson family and the OJs. I played with a lot of different people, and I bet that was a lot of inspiration from Les too. I mean, he was my muse.
So you guys, it sounds like you guys served as conduits for one another, and what I mean by that is, you showed him a lot of R&B, funk, and soul, and he was showing you a lot of rock stuff, and so you guys were then getting grounding in multiple styles and approaches, which clearly served you well, both of you guys.
Man, it helped me pay the rent so many times. I could never, ever have done what I've done unless it started right there in Mr. Johnson's class.
Wow. Well, let's talk about Mr. Johnson's class. Let's talk about his class because you guys met in there. And Les learned to read music there. He tells the anecdote that Mr. Johnson was taken aback that he didn't know how to read music. And I assume you guys, when you were drumming, you were reading charts. First of all, I've been a public educator for 20 years, so I love hearing about teachers who inspire kids or help kids develop talents and interests and that sort of thing. So, what was it like being with Mr. Johnson?
He was a funny guy. That's all I can say. He was a great educator. I'm not sure if he's still alive, but I know if he is, this guy has turned out some good musicians. And basically, he gave us room to grow. And I think that's the best thing that you could do for a young mind is to let them grow. Just give them some guidance, and just let them go. Because being in the music business, it's a hard business. It's not something that you're going to get life insurance and health insurance and all these different things like that. You have to love what you're doing. And in Mr. Johnson's class and a couple of music teachers I had over the years, like Ivan Bird Lowe, he was one of my first drum teachers, and he just passed away about maybe 3 weeks ago, and I miss him dearly. But he was a biggest influence on me. And Mr. Johnson, he definitely let us develop our own styles, and he didn't interfere with us a lot. He gave us room to grow and learn to love music. Because I tell kids all the time now, they come over for lessons and stuff, and I tell them all the time, if you don't love this thing that we're doing, you find anything else and go do it. Because this is not for you. So you have to love this. So,
wow.
And I take my hat off for Mr. Johnson, the educators that do let the children learn.
Yeah,
he cracked the whip sometimes.
Well, yeah, you have to do that every once in a while. But yeah, it sounds like he gave you guys opportunity and you took the opportunity, and I think that's. Yes. That's commendable on his part, especially with a music class or conducting the jazz band or something like that, because that's a lot of kids to wrangle. So good for him. Oh, man.
Kirk Hammett was there. Also, Lars. There's guys like Dan Watson, Brett Kern, and I forgot the other guy that plays for Marc Biedermann. He was a guitar player, and like I said, Kirk Hammett, he was playing with this group called Exodus, and they used to play everything fast. Man, him and Dan Watson, man. But I used to love them all the time, And There's a lot of influences there that I mean, the Bay Area just is such an influential place.
It's
The Bay Area music
yeah,
is great.
it's remarkable. Just De Anza High in those years you were there. That you're there with Les and Kirk Hammett. I think Jeff Becerra of Possessed was there at one point.
Yeah.
Biedermann was there. Man, so
Lord,
you guys all knew each other,
Lord.
obviously, right? And hung out.
Yes, we hung out somewhat.
Wow.
We hung out somewhat. We always look at each other's band and go, "Wow, I wish I was doing that." Well, but when you get on the stage, you go, "Wow, I wish I was doing that." And we just had fun, and so we inspired each other. So,
oh man, okay, great. Because sometimes what happens is there's a sense of unhealthy competition, but it sounds like you guys all got along and were excited for one another and the paths you were striking.
well, I know. Like I said, Les was fearless, man.
Yeah.
If he liked it, he played it. He didn't care what nobody else thought. If I like this, he played it, and I pretty much liked what he was playing, so I played what he was doing. So I'd play off of him, and he play off of me, and it was just fun. So it was just growing up. I think we was just young. That's probably the main thing. We were young.
Yeah, not knowing any better to a degree, but that fearlessness, I think, is something that he took with him, as Primus gained a lot of momentum and so on and so forth, and that I think has served him really well. Is that something you took into your career as well?
I just enjoy playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more than anything else, I love playing. I love playing music. I mean, I had an opportunity to play Major League Baseball and a couple other things, but I always came back to the music all the time.
Oh wow! Wow,
that was that love just started from. I keep saying just being funky, man. Just be funky.
Ah, excellent. That's great advice. There you go. Be funky. I like it.
I tell you what, drums is the hardest instrument to start playing, to learn. But once you learn it, you got it. And if you started today, in 10 years from now, you have been playing for 10 years. It's just you got to start doing it and just be funky.
There you go, Frankie. Be funky.
Be funky.
I like it. I'm gonna. Frankie's funky forehead. That's what that is right there. I'm going to take that advice with me, that just be funky. It seems like and Les has told this story, and you mentioned a couple of these things, that he was just worshiping Geddy Lee and Rush. And he said at some point somebody told him, yeah, Geddy's cool, but you got to check out Larry Graham and Stanley Clarke. You were already familiar with Larry Graham, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
You're being an accomplished drummer. When you hear somebody like Larry Graham laying it down on bass, I mean, I wouldn't be able to help it. I would just start drumming along with him because he's just that damn good.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's one of my superheroes. I mean, Larry Graham. I think he was one of the most inspiration from him. Him and that whole Sly and Family song clique, man. I used to love them, and the Isley Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Also, the brothers Johnson, Louis Johnson. He was a crazy bass player that we used to listen to. There was a Bay Area band called Pleasure, and I still hear some of the songs let's play today. I hear some of the influences from Pleasure. I can feel it, like in is that Jerry was a weird car driver or that Tommy Cat? Anyway, they remind me of flashes of the Pleasure band. That band was so cold, man. We used to love to play those guys. They had this song called Glide.
Yeah.
And we used to screw around with it in the practice pads.
Les teases that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still throws it out there. It's so great.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could sit down with Les and play with him again. But yeah, I'm doing different things these days. I've been playing the keyboards and
Oh, okay.
doing some other things. Yeah. No, I was just inspired by the Larry Graham and all those different Bay Area musicians. They were just some great players, you know. Fleetwood Mac and everybody. I mean, they were just great players.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And in this Primus book, Les relates that I think it was around 2013 he actually finally got to meet Larry Graham. And I'm going to paraphrase, and he said it was some radio station event, and he said, and Larry Graham is standing there playing his bass 4 feet in front of me, and in Les's words, he says he's just kicking the shit out of everybody. like Larry just brings it, and the Larry Graham I've listened to, it just blows me away. So just to have that kind of influence, and he was Larry Graham was an out of the box thinker, and I think that's another one of those hallmarks of you guys in those youthful days. It seemed like you were looking for people who were maybe, I wouldn't say against the norm, but certainly doing their own thing. Does that sound accurate?
That's it. Do your own thing, man. Do your own thing. And sooner or later, somebody's going to dig it. Be fearless. Always be fearless. Like you're just starting to play the drums, play everything that you can get, that you hear that sounds good. I don't care if it's Ziggy and the violinists and their crew. Just if it sounds good, play it.
Yeah. So and that goes back to that fearlessness too. You guys were just probably, because I as a teenager, I was 13 and somebody showed me a Primus song, and I think it was that fearlessness that drew me in, and it was so different. So it doesn't matter the music or the musician. I think you can hear it in the musician, I suppose, and maybe that's what drew me in too. Speaking of fearlessness, yeah. you related to me, and I would love to know more about this with Star. You guys played in the cafeteria, is that right? You said you helped avert a riot somehow.
Yeah, I mean this was during the Roots era, and
right.
It was the people were trying to split off in these little groups, and we just. Me and my boys, we were together. So they used to call me rock and roll brother, and they used to say funky white dude. So we used to just play, and we ended up playing that day. His name was Principal. I think his name was Darden. I can't remember. But he said we're having some problems with everybody, man. If you guys can play, make sure you guys do it. And we just came out there and played. I didn't tell everybody about it, but I didn't want to make anybody afraid. I just wanted us to play. And we ended up playing. And the next thing I know it, after we got through playing, I looked around, everybody was hugging and dancing and jamming. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, man. And a lot of musicians that were there, they were all there too, because we didn't have any ego problems. Maybe when I was playing baseball, but not playing music. I never had a music ego. I always, like Kurt and those guys, used to play everything fast, and a couple of other bands I used to rehearse it down at my mother's. She used to run a government agency down in Seaside, and they used to practice down there. And all of the bands there, we just loved to play. We used to do a lot of keg parties and stuff like that. But that was all a part of just learning, and we just wanted to be a part of something. I mean, we didn't know that we was going to be part of the Bay Area musicians, but we ended up being a part of the Bay Area musicians. And when I played with a lot of different bands that would talk about me, they talk about me being a Bay Area musician, and it makes me not proud. I'm saying I'm well pleased with myself when I think of them calling me a Bay Area musician, because when you name Bay Area musicians, you naming some bad boys and girls. So,
Yeah, man, like you're in the club with all the heavies.
Yeah, that's what they say. I had fun. I had fun, man. I wish I could do it another day, but if it was only one person out there or 10,000 people out there, like when we were playing at the New Orleans Jazz Festival. Matter of fact, I ran into Les Claypool. He was opening up for Government Mule.
Yeah.
And I was playing at the New Orleans Jazz Festival. And it was called something kind of, I can't remember what he was calling it, but anyway, I ended up on stage with him and sitting in the back, and I ended up meeting Bella Fleck and the Fleck Tones, and another great bassist with Victor Wooten.
Oh yeah.
And Les was in rare form that night. He was cranking it, man. I was like, man, I'm so well pleased with Les, man. All I can do is speak kind words over him, man, because he was grounded, and I loved the way he played, And I just wish we would have got a chance to play again, but unfortunately, my time kind of ran out on me. So
yeah, Frankie, when would that have been? New Orleans Jazz Fest, was that early aughts?
Yeah. We were playing with a band called Casper, and my band was called the 602 Band out of Arizona, the Hopi land.
Oh yeah,
he's a Hopi Indian, and a couple of members from Bad Brains was in the band, and myself. And who else was playing? A guy named Scott Elliott. He was playing keyboards, and I mean everybody in that band was really, really some accomplished musicians. And I love playing with those guys also.
Oh, right on. That's excellent, man. It's so cool that you ran into Les too. Of course, that's great. And because you guys both are, crisscrossing the country, touring and gigging and all that stuff. So what are the odds? That's great.
Yeah, man, I ran into him a couple of times, but I just couldn't stop and play with him because every time I had to go and make sure my gear got in this place where it's supposed to be. I had to have somebody to go do this, and I had to leave, so I had to go play somewhere else and didn't get to play with Les anymore. So, but I always wanted to. I just was busy at the time, so I never got a chance to do it.
Oh man,
and him and Larry,
Yeah, Les, if you're listening, there you go. Here's your chance.
Matter of fact, his new drummer, I forgot his name. His name was. I used to play with his dad.
John Hoffman, you played with his dad?
I did.
No way. Tell me about that.
In several different bands. Stan Hoffman.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, I played with Stan a couple of times, man.
What a small world.
Yeah.
It is. Also, the guy that took my place, his name was the drummer. His name was
that's Tim Alexander.
Tim Alexander. He used to play I used to play in a band with Tim that Tim knew. The band that I was working with the Jacksons was called the Tut Band. And I'd watch Tim and those guys play, and Tim used to watch me play, and we crisscrossed around the country. So, yeah, Tim, he was a pretty solid drummer too. And I liked him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, these connections are blowing me away. I had no idea you played with Hoffer's dad and had crossed paths with Tim Alexander. Get out of here. That's crazy.
Also, the boys from Bad Brains. I mean, they were some crazy music. Have you ever heard of Bad Brains or the HR Posse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bad Brains is wild.
Sure.
Bad Brains. Them boys can play, man. And they used to drive me crazy, man, for playing with those guys, man. But I loved them. To this day, I love Black Trash. I love Billy Banks. They're an excellent source of inspiration.
Oh, excellent.
I don't want to talk about my other things that's an inspiration. We spoke about that earlier. But.
Yeah. There's a Bad Brains 50th anniversary celebration coming up here in L.A.
Of course.
I don't
Matter
get
of
to
fact,
go
I
to
was
it, but
talking to Trash.
oh, were you talking
man,
to him about it?
Yeah, and I played with HR a couple of times, and different kind of brother, but he was doing his thing, and I loved it. So, like I said, it's just funky, bro. I was just funky wherever I'm at. So I just have fun all the time.
Man, that's great. Thank you for sharing those details. I had no idea. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Stan Hoffman is that's his baby.
Yeah, man. That's kind of a full circle thing in a way.
It's funny, man. It's just funny. From Alexander, all those guys, it's just funny, man.
Man. Yeah, so speaking of that, like, because we've been talking about your high school years, and then you joined the Army, correct? Or the military? I don't know what branch.
I joined the Army, correct.
Okay. So you did, how long were you in the Army?
I was in the Army for 3 years.
Okay. Did you expect to go to the Army out of high school? I'm curious about that.
Well, I had a couple of bad turns. And a couple of my friends were going, matter of fact, my teacher, Ivan Lowe, that I was telling you about,
yeah,
he was like, well, I'm getting ready to go to Germany, Vince. Since you're not got a dead end, why don't you join the Army too? And I thought about it. I said, that's a good idea, dude. He said, we're going to go to all places, man, and you can play music everywhere. And I said, okay, I think I can try that. And I did, and I said, I can do it. I'm going to try it and see how it goes. I gave him 3 years and then I got out. So, but it was fun. And I think it was fun because I was young again. Just to say it again, it was because I was young. But yeah, I did give 3 years away. So
okay.
And Les picked me up when I got out of the military. I was when he called. He called and said, "Hey, Vince, what you doing?" I was like, I was in Texas, and I was thinking about I was going to fly helicopters. I had took a test. And I passed the test. It was a aviation test to fly those brand new helicopters with the sights that your eyes go this way, the guns they go that way. But I didn't want to be a puppy, so
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I didn't. I came home.
Wow.
And joined Primus.
Yeah,
Primate at the
time. Yes. It sounded like Les was waiting for you to get out of the military because, you guys had played and been good friends in high school and played a lot and kind of knew each other musically. And so Primus, well, I should rephrase, Primate starts in earnest then when you come back to California. What were some of those early days like? Like we've heard the Primate demo tape, and I sent you that link, so hopefully you got to listen to it.
I did.
Excellent. What was it like getting together with Les and Todd and making some freaky sounds?
Man, it was great. It was really great. I mean, it was different. It was different because Les, he says himself, he's never been a virtuoso singer, but he believed in himself. So I believed in him. I think that's half the battle. If you can get somebody to believe in you, that's the whole thing. And his dad, Linn, is excellent. He's an excellent guy too. So it was all there. Everything was. It was just all he had to do was stick with it, and the stuff was playing. It was going to get the world was going to catch up to it. That's all.
Yeah.
And Les, he never backed down for anything. And I still see why I watch some of the videos now, because I haven't been really keeping up with his career. Mm-hmm. But lately, since I've been home, not touring all the time, I had a chance to catch up some of the songs that he's playing and stuff. He's been true to himself, man, Always was. He was a hustler, man. He was a hustler when we made the Primus stuff. The Too Many Puppies, that song, and what else? Prelude to Fear. We did that one too, also, and it was they were different. You know, people were gonna go Primus sucks and this and that. Next I know it, I seen the album says suck this.
Yeah.
And you know, I say, hey, listen, Primus suck this. Sounds like Les. You know, it sounds like he's standing there with an S on his chest. So, and I just laugh every time I was watching this movie with me and my girl, who ended up being my wife. Her name is Nicole, and we were watching this stupid movie, man. But you know, we was like smoking a lot of weed and stuff like that back then, and I was watching, and Pam Grier was in this movie. She was introducing the Battle of the Bands, and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Primus." And Les came out. Talk about it, coming in, and I was like, "Hey, baby, look, that's my old man. I told you about him, you know." And they were on there playing Tummy the Cat.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny, man. I couldn't have believed it when I seen that, and I was so well pleased with Les when I seen that, because he's still stuck in there. No matter what nobody does, he always sticks in there, man.
Oh, that's so surreal to see your old buddy in a goofball movie like Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie too. Anyway, when I seen him at the New Orleans Jazz Festival, I unloading the gear. You know, I had these dreads and my beard was down to my ankles. You know, he couldn't really tell who I was. So I was going, "Mr. Claypool, can I have your autograph?" He's like a billion, doing 100 things there. And I was doing it again. I said, "Mr. Claypool, can I have your autograph?" And he turned around and said, "Perm." It was so funny, and I was just well pleased to see him. I wanted to hang out, but I had to go myself and get some stuff together for the show the next day at the Jazz Festival, and he was playing with Government Mill that night, so he gave me a couple of tickets to get in, and I really got to see him stretch out, and I enjoyed myself that day. Whoa, one of the heights of my career.
Oh, that's excellent.
Watching Les get
man.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this Primate demo. I'm curious about this Primate demo because there's 4 tracks on it, and the Linn drum machine is the unofficial first Primus drummer, right? So the Linn drum machine's on there, but it sounds like Puppies and Prelude to Fear. Those sound like the drum machines on those. Did you drum on the other 2 tracks, Chattering Song and Creating?
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure how many songs that I drummed on, but I was playing along with the Linn drum machine too, because I was playing right along with it like a click track. So, and it ended up nailing me a couple of jobs, man.
Oh,
because they knew that I could play with, because they learned that I could play with the drum machine and the click track. This was before people started doing it. I mean, people doing it now, a lot of them do it now, but then nobody was doing it. It was me and a couple of other people. Nobody could really lock into a drum machine, you know, but I was one of those that could, and I guess I got on.
Oh,
and I was happy.
That's fascinating to me because, just like getting into drums and that sort of thing, there's all kinds of attitudes about playing to a click. But because that's so interesting because you were playing along to what was programmed into the Linn drum machine for these Primate songs, you were able to just fine tune that timing. And it got you gigs. Do you remember what those gigs were?
Yeah. One was with this band called the Tut Band, and they needed a drummer that keep up with a drum machine. And I was really against it, but rent had to be paid, so I joined, and they were the best band in Arizona.
Nice.
And I got that gig, and then I did some drumming for Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson's father.
Yeah,
he had a couple of bands that they wanted me to play with them. I had to follow a click track, but they wanted to make it a little live, give it a live feel. And those were some of the gigs that I got. JJ Fad, we were playing the click track for them, and they were one of Joe Jackson's groups. Also, there was a group called the Neutrons, some young rappers, and they wanted me to play with that. So, because when they did this, the showcases at the Roxy, I ended up playing on those parts, and I mean, all the record producers and record companies were there, so I ended up playing with those and made those bands sound better, and they paid me. I paid the rent. Hey, cool.
All right. that sounds like a specific skill, because it must be, because to play to a click or along with a click, or however you want to phrase that, as opposed to, I don't know, playing free or without one. What is to you? What's the major difference, or how do you play along with to a click? I suppose that's my question to you.
Well, when I first started doing it, so when I heard the snare, if the snare's on 2 and 4, you make sure you lock in with the snare and lock into your bass player, because your bass player he's got the other thing going on with the bass, like if the bass player blows a triplet, like I'll do and just keep that towel going, just 2, 4. Or towel, like different times and different, well, not key signatures, but different times. You just lock into that situation and you just go with it, man, and just keep it funky.
Okay, that makes sense to me, and it actually kind of reminds me of some of what we hear in that Primate demo, especially with something like Prelude to Fear, because there are some big pows in there. For sure. You guys, what's really impressive to me about that demo is you guys got a really big sound. And I know that making a demo tape was tough to do in the 80s. Everybody has a home studio now, but then, time was money and tape was expensive and getting in there, all that stuff. So it sounds great. And I love listening to it, because it's I've kind of termed it primordial Primus to a degree, but really these songs were pretty well developed. So maybe that's a misnomer. But hey, what do you remember about putting that demo together? And it sounds like you guys just had a lot of fun with it.
Well, I know Les made a lot of sacrifices, like his car and probably a couple of girlfriends and everything else. But yeah, he was the main driving force. He knew that if he got that sound right, that things is going to happen for him. He was one of the people that believed it. Everybody I knew, they didn't believe it, but me, I just said, well, if anybody can do it, Les can. So I just wait.
Man, yeah, you saw that in him early. That's really cool. And then
he was fearless.
Yeah. So, and then as the story goes, somebody who knew Big Rick Stewart slipped that tape to him. And then you guys were all of a sudden on the radio.
Yeah, I had left the band by that time.
Oh, okay. So by the time the tape makes it on the radio, okay. One thing that wasn't clear to me was gigs. Did you do any Primate gigs?
No, I did the recording with him.
Okay.
So I didn't miss out on all the gigs. I ended up leaving and playing with a band that ended up doing stuff with the Jacksons and a couple other musicians. So I ended up going there, and I don't want to say selling out. I wasn't selling out. It's just Les was going in a different direction, and I was going in another one.
Yeah.
But he got what he needed. He got what he needed to get what he wanted.
Okay. And, that makes sense. Yeah. You guys, so what's really cool is then this tape, it got you on your path. and it got lesson taught on their path, and you all benefited from it, and I'm sure it was amicable when you went on your path. Amicable. That's great, man. It's we talked about this on the phone the other day that and Frankie, we've talked about this too, Frankie, that when I was a teenager, in the mid 90s to late 90s, and looking up all the info on Primus I could on the internet, right? Just eating it up because I was just obsessed with this band. I would see these names of previous drummers, and I was like, I don't know who Jay Lane is, Robbie Bean.
Oh, yes, the Primus family tree.
The Primus, yeah. So I'm like, this, like these names sound made up. Robbie Bean, who's that? Mark
Who are
Edgar.
these people, and what do they look like?
what in the world were they doing? Yeah. So and then I saw that name, Perm Parker, and of course Perm. I didn't know at the time Perm was a nickname. So like, what? Who is this guy? I got to know more, and I didn't. And you were a mysterious figure for so long.
Well, Perm Parker was the root. I'm at the root, so that's part of the tree. I ended up in the roots. We were playing in high school, and then the rest of it was the tree, the leaves, and the branches. But yeah,
I love that. Yes,
Bernie branches. Yeah,
man, the roots of the family tree. I love that.
Yeah, I as the roots.
I wanted to ask Perm because there's a quote by Les in the press release for Seas of Cheese where he says that Sergeant Baker is kind of an amalgamation of a lot of stories friends told him about the army. So I'm wondering if you relate tales to him when you came back from the army, and if you have heard the song Sergeant Baker by Primus.
No, we talked when I first got out of the military. We talked about some of the stories in the military, but and I know Too Many Puppies was basically about soldiers and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he probably put it all together and, like you said, made an amalgamation out of it and and ran with it. So, and like I say, he stayed funky. He just keep it funky, man. And whatever it is, he never faked the funk. So that's what George Clinton said. If you fake the funk, your nose will grow. But his nose was already grown. If it's growing, you'll be in trouble. So yeah, Frankie. I believe some of those stories might have made it to the list because I had a million stories and I can't talk about some of them on this program right now. But
right.
Yeah.
It's cool though that your experiences helped him form this character for this song that is this Sergeant Baker song for sure, but certainly Puppies as well. Given your military experience. So you helped inform a couple of tunes there. That's pretty rad.
And he did it all.
Yeah.
I can't take any credit for anything Les has done. He's always been Les, man. And I keep saying to this day, just like when God spoke of Christ, he said, "This is my son, and I'm well pleased." I am well pleased with Les Claypool, man. Always have been, because he has never faked the funk. Just keep it funky, Vince. Just keep it funky.
Love it.
That's what he always told me. Just keep it funky. Just play what you feel, man. And I love the way he thought. I still love the way when I watched when they were showing one of the kids that I gave him. His name was I used to play with his dad also. His name was Miles. He was named after Miles Davis. He sent me the videos of all of the drummers that Les was looking at.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And it was like the Interstellar Drum Derby.
Yes.
Yeah, the drum derby. Hey,
yeah.
Man, and then I seen Scott. I said, ain't that? It is, and then they show Stan. They show Stan had his little dreads and everything. He was singing on the keyboard, and I was like, "Wow!" And he ended up getting the job, and I was like laughing so hard, man. Like I just couldn't believe it. And the young man, I was getting ready to play in this drum contest for Guitar Center. And I couldn't because I had to hit the road and go somewhere else. And Scott ended up winning the drum contest and won the new drum set and the and all that. I used to laugh at all of this, man, because it's just been a big, long, beautiful ride, man. It's just been a long, beautiful ride. And a lot of beautiful people, man.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, it's just been great. And man, if I could do anything different, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. Well, you've had a long, successful music career, man, and that it's hard to do. And so, first of all, congratulations to you for sticking with it and doing the work that needed to be done to make it happen, because it's exceedingly difficult. And I'm sure pretty much anybody in the business would say the same thing. But so certainly hats off to you. And I don't know if De Anza High has high school reunions, but if you're to get you and Les and Kirk Hammett and Bryan Kehoe and Flounce and Fred and all those dudes, I'll get all you guys in the same room. Man alive, that'd be a blast.
Bryan Kehoe, that's another name from the past. Wow.
Yeah, Kehoe's doing it too. He's working for Jim Dunlop, and he's got a bunch of bands. He's still doing it. It's great.
Wow. Never knew that. Never knew.
And then he and Les, actually, Kehoe and Les, did a thing called Duo de Twang, and so it's just the two of them, like country frying some of their own songs and some covers. So those guys ended up doing stuff together.
Man, that is wonderful, man. Les never forgot anybody. I'm so glad he did that. So I guess he's been going back getting the guys from De Anza and El Cerrito and all these different places and stuff. Well, the guys I always played with El Cerrito, Levi Spence, he ended up playing with Prince.
Oh,
Ricky Hill, he played with everybody. Levi Spence, he's a guitar player for Prince.
Wow.
And Sheila E., he played bass with Sheila E. and guitar for her.
Yeah.
And a couple of musicians, this is this drummer that I used to always have to, every time he came, they said, man, get off the drums till Dizon get finished. So, because he was that incredible drummer, he was that drummer. So I used to love to all of those musicians. I take my hat off to them, and I wish I could see some of them now. Eli and all of those guys, man. I haven't seen them in a long time, but I've been noticing back in the day that there was albums that were made that these musicians were on, and I always it's Pebbles. She married Babyface and L.A. Reid and all of that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so
I know Frankie. Frankie probably knows some of those names because he's a big Prince fan. So
yes,
man, and you mentioned I can't imagine a more nerve-wracking situation than auditioning to be Prince's guitar player.
Wow. Well, he actually was auditioning Sheila E. because Levi was playing for Sheila E. at the time, and he ended up right along with that situation. And I remember Levi, he used to ride the bus with us to El Cerrito, like they used to call the 72P. And he was just this really cool guy, man. He had a great disposition about everything in the way he studied music. And he ended up playing with Sheila E. And I ran into him one night in Arizona. He was playing at the Civic Plaza with Sheila E. And they were incredible that night. And I was going to go hang out with them that night, but unfortunately I had to go and get ready for the road so I could hang out with them that night. Every time some of the people I knew, I couldn't be with them because I was doing my own things at the time. So
right.
Again, and I miss a lot of the things that Eli did. I'm sorry, I was talking about
Levi, right?
Levi Spence. Yeah, he I didn't get a chance to see him a lot, and then him, Prince, and those guys took off. I knew they started playing with this group called O'Brien on the Soul Train, and they had a group called the Soul Train Gang or something like that. And Levi was one of the guitar players that was playing with that crew. His name was O'Brien. The band. His name was O'Brien, and he had like 4 guitar players, and he was one of them. And this guy was so cool and smooth, man. Every time I seen him, he was just a great guitarist, man.
Wow.
And I just never got a chance to play with him either.
Yeah.
Once we started playing professionally, I missed my call because every time I tried to go play with somebody, I'd have to go play with somebody. So
can't play. I got to go play.
Right. I did get a chance, like I said, I got a chance to hang out with Les one night.
Yeah.
And it was in New Orleans, and it was one of the great things that it was a packed house that night. And then the next morning, I didn't know if he was in the crowd, but I gave him tickets and left him at the will call. And if he did show up, we were in rare form that day. So if he didn't see it, he missed out on a really good show. Because, like I said, a couple of people that was in Bad Brains, we were playing in that gig. And we were killing it that night. It was, we left mud on the floor. And Tina was coming on after us. And, she had to do her best because we had put so much mud on the floor. By the time she got there, she had to stretch out, and she did too, man. I take my hat to the late great Tina Maria. Mwah. She was a great performer. That band was smoking too, man.
Nice.
Playing with the Ohio players and Roger Zapp. And I wish Les would have been there because he would have loved that group.
Oh, yeah.
That band, Roger Zapp. They were late great Roger Troutman. Oh my God. That band was so funky, man. Oh man, I can't believe how funky they was. And the Ohio players before the late great Sugarfoot passed away. And he was there. They were incredible.
Yeah, the Ohio players. It was
just an incredible night for the people.
Wow. Frankie, it sounded like you had a question.
I just wanted to say, Perm, I think you would really enjoy listening to some live recordings of Les Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains when they were on tour in 2004, because they were playing some incredibly funky stuff.
Man, I sure would, because I always wanted to play with Bernie Morrell. I can't believe I didn't get to play with Bernie. Oh,
yeah, they had funkadelic covers on that tour, a Bad Brain cover as well. So it's really fantastic stuff.
Man, I will go back and listen to some of that because Frank, if you can, please send me some of those links that you're talking about.
There you go.
If you
Will
have
do.
any of them, get my email and send it to me, man.
Definitely. Well, Frankie gave you a recommendation, and I'm going to ask you for one, Vince, which is, you mentioned Parliament Funkadelic, Larry Graham, Sly Stone, James Brown, on down the line, Pleasure, all fantastic acts, the Reddings, and so on. For me, I've got that basis. If I was going to dig deeper, what other artists would you recommend I check out to really get into the funk and R&B?
Man, you have to go to the Godfather, man. James Brown.
Yep.
Paul Stubblefield, his drummer.
Mm-hmm.
One night I was playing at this club right in Arizona, and I was kicking. I was in rare form that night too myself, and I was throwing. Everywhere I threw my sticks, they hit it right where they wanted to. Just one of them nights, And this old guy came up to me and said, "Hey, man, you do me real good." I said, "What?" "You do me real good." He said, "Yeah, my name is Paul Stubblefield." And it was. I was like, "What, Paul Stubblefield?" I said, "Hey, man, I've been trying to do you my whole life." Then he had another drummer named Bernard Purdy. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of him?
I think I've heard that name.
He's a crazy drummer. He came up on my stage, and I used to pride myself, but not tuning my drums right and get some sound out of them. And nobody could play my drums. And I used to pride myself because nobody could play my drums. But he got on my drums and he played my drums. I mean, I never tuned them, you know. Some guys have to tune it like this and tune it like the A, B, C. No, I used to hit it and get that sound out of it because I used to rim shot everything. They used to call it Banks. Jerome Banks used to tell me from Bad Brains. He'd say, "Oh, Vince, you playing that fat back." He used to call it fat back. And that's where the funk came from.
Ah.
And the it's like you hit a rim and you get the sound of the snare head. So you didn't have to tune your drums if you get that rim and hit it right in the right spot every time. And boy, if you keep that kick drum pumping, boom, boom, you get that they used to call me, "Oh, you a fatback drummer." And then they started calling me a reggae drummer because I ended up playing with Burning Spear, doing shows with Burning Spear, the Wailers, the Sagittarius band. I actually played with the Sagittarius band bass player. His name was, man, this dude is cold-blooded. Whoa, he's one of the best bass players I played with. His name was, I can't remember his name. He's one of the great bass players. Flava Hope with Burning Spear.
Okay.
I never got to meet a couple of drummers I wanted to meet, but I didn't. Yellow Man, I played with Yellow Man a couple of times, and Frankie Paul, and all of those reggae drummers, man. It was, and all of a sudden, I became what they call the reggae drummer. At first I was the rock and roll brother. Then I was the funk man. And then I turned to the reggae drummer, and I was all along. I just always just said, "Okay, that's cool. At least I'm not faking it. I'm keeping it real." So I just played with like when we began at the Anza, we just kept it real, and we kept it funky.
Man,
that's all we did.
Yeah,
that's all we did.
Served you for decades.
For decades, man.
That's great.
It paid the rent.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, Vince, it has been fantastic to talk to you. I can't thank you enough for your time and for telling us, about yourself and your experience with the Les, but also your musical career and journey. I hope all these guys that you're missing, you get to see them again sometime.
I do too, man. It would be a pleasure just to sit and trade stories, about some of the horn players, and the horn player was the crazy ones, and the tours, and the tales from the tours. I would just love to sit down and just talk.
Yeah.
And man, I love to sit down and play. I may not can play the drums as much, but I can tickle the ivories a little bit, so I can still jam.
Excellent.
I'm still funky with it.
Right on.